This video supports the first lesson for the week of June 1st in the BCPS Secondary Reading Curriculum. The title of this lesson is Reread and Rethink. I'm Nancy Perkins, a resource teacher in both the Offices of Secondary ELA and Title I. In this lesson, you'll be considering an opinion that you have on a particular topic. An opinion is what you personally think or feel. We all have opinions about all kinds of things. Often, our opinions are based on what we've experienced in our own lives and not necessarily on factual information. That is okay, and it's human nature. But we also want to be open-minded to changing our opinions if we learn some facts that go against what we might have originally thought. That's a skill that you're going to be practicing in this lesson. The article that you'll read in this lesson presents an argument for a good way to spend your leisure time. Leisure time is your free time, and you most likely have favorite activities to do when you have some time on your hands. Think for a moment about what you like to do when you have the time. This chart may give you some ideas. You're now going to see a series of pictures showing people engaged in some leisure time activities. Watch the pictures to see if any of them are showing something similar to what you like to do. You might not see an exact match, but you might see something close. For example, you might like to take walks around your neighborhood with friends or family, but the picture you will see is of a single man hiking on a path in the woods. That's not an exact match, but it's close enough. It's still people outside walking. Got it? Okay. Get ready to watch the pictures and consider if you see anything similar to what you like to do in your spare time. Did you see anything close to what you like to do? Maybe you did, or maybe you like to do something completely different. That's all just fine. In this lesson, you will read about a suggestion for how you spend some free time. To get started, have in front of you the article, Vitamin G for Your Mind, and the FactsOpinions thinking chart for this lesson. Follow along with this explanation of the first thing that you are to do on the FactsOpinions thinking chart. This is the FactsOpinions thinking chart that you will be using for this lesson. Ordinarily, in the lessons, we go to the article first and we read the article and annotate the article with our thinking. We'll get to that for this lesson. But really the first step for this one is to take a look at the chart first, because there's a section of the chart that you need to fill out before you start reading. And that's all the way over on the right, the thinking column. In the thinking column, there's this statement. It is important to put electronics away and spend some time outdoors every day. Then it says here, explain whether or not you agree with this statement and why before you read the article. So before you look at the article, think about that. What do you think? Is it important to put electronics away or really even anything else that you're doing indoors and spend some time outdoors every day? Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Do you kind of agree with that? Decide what you think and take just a minute and jot down your thoughts, your opinion on that statement before we take a look at the article. Finish that and then we'll get started on reading the information. Now, follow along with this model of reading and annotating the article. This is the article that you'll be reading for this lesson. It's titled Vitamin G for Your Mind. Now, your directions are to read the article and to highlight facts and also to capture your thinking. So as always, you're going to pay attention to the thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, whatever that occur to you as you're reading, and you're going to write those down. And you're going to highlight facts. But now let's think for a minute about the facts that you're going to highlight. You're not just going to highlight anything that you find in the article that you think is a fact, but you're going to think about that comment that was on our thinking chart. And the comment was that it's important to put electronics away and get outside every day. So the facts that you're going to look for are facts that connect with that idea. So facts about why it's important to get outside every day. Okay, now I've started this for you. I've read the first part of the article and I've highlighted some facts that I found, and I also captured some of my thinking. So follow along with me now and I'll share with you what I did with the first part of the article, and then you'll continue and finish up. Okay, so again, the article, Vitamin G for Your Mind. The first section, Out and About, the best route without a doubt. Long ago, in a world far, far away, there were fewer TVs and no cell phones or video games. A tweet was a sound made by birds. Kids played outdoors after school and on weekends. Seriously? Actually, that world wasn't so far away. It was Earth. Our planet was a lot different just a few decades ago. People spent more time outdoors. But today, phones, video games, and hundreds of TV channels often compete with walking in the park or planting a garden. Safety fears, pollution, and limited green spaces in cities also keep many people indoors. Green spaces are areas where there might be grass, trees, bushes, greenery growing around. Young people now spend about 6 hours a day with a phone or in front of a TV or a computer and less than 4 minutes playing outdoors. And you can see that I highlighted that fact because it connected with our idea of being important to get outside, and plus it was a startling fact to me. My comment was, less than 4 minutes? This is so sad to me, but I know it can be really hard to convince some young people to unplug and go outside. And I say that from experience. I've raised 2 boys, and I know it was always a battle to get them to put things away and just go outside for a while. Not that technology is bad, but it is not healthy for the mind and the body when time spent using technology replaces outdoor time. Many health experts call the problem of kids not spending enough time outdoors nature deficit disorder. And I highlighted that fact because I had never heard that before, and that was the comment that I wrote. The term nature deficit disorder, I'd never heard of that before, but I kind of understand it and I appreciate the term. The next section, the need for vitamin G. Scientific studies support the claims that not enough time in nature can harm the mind and the body, and some health experts have started calling outdoor time getting your vitamin G. And I highlighted that fact there because that was startling to me, that I was like, wow, it can actually harm the mind and the body to not get out into nature? Wow. Kids who don't get outdoors much are more likely to have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, and depression. They also tend to have trouble in school. And I highlighted those facts, actually 2 facts right there, which are interesting facts, and my comment was down here that that's very interesting, and I had a question. So could getting outside for a little bit every day help with those problems, the ADHD and the depression? I wonder. Doctors believe that is because being outdoors stimulates the mind more than sitting around indoors. And that was an interesting fact to me. Being outdoors stimulates the mind more than sitting around indoors, and I was wondering, could that depend upon what you're doing inside? What if you're sitting indoors reading or you're doing your homework? That would stimulate your mind more than sitting and watching TV. Even those who usually spend a lot of time outdoors notice a difference when they don't get green time. If I don't get outside, I feel lazy and can't get going to do anything like chores, homework, or just getting ready for school. I also feel pretty irritable and can get annoyed at any little thing that bugs me, says Molly P., 16, of Temecula, California, who enjoys hiking, swimming, and running. Molly's sister, Madeline P., 14, agrees. I feel more tired when I don't get outdoors, she says. Okay, now notice that I haven't highlighted anything here. That's because this section is just information about these two sisters that is in here because the two sisters would agree with the fact that they need to get outdoors and that it's stimulating to be outdoors. So it's not additional facts on the topic, but it's that interesting information that supports the facts. Okay, so we're not going to highlight anything there, but there is still plenty more for you to highlight in the rest of the article. Your job is to now continue reading and to finish reading the article. You'll see it's not very long there, and see if you can find like 3 more facts that support the topic that we're looking at, which is the idea of why it's important to get outdoors. Find some facts and then also capture your thinking as you're going. When you finish, I'll show you how to transfer that information onto our FactsOpinions thinking chart. Return now to your FactsOpinions thinking chart and listen to this explanation for how to complete the rest of it. Now that you've finished reading the article, we return to the FactsOpinions thinking chart. We'll start with looking at the first 2 columns. Pretty self-explanatory. The first column is for facts, so this is where you're going to record any of those facts that you highlighted as you were reading. You can see that I've already done this for that section of the article that I read and the facts that I highlighted. You need to make sure that you found at least 3 additional facts in the part that you read that you can list here on the chart. Then the middle column is for your opinions or whatever other thoughts that you had while you were reading. And you can see that I've recorded those for what I was thinking for the first part of the article here. And again, your job is to finish that column for what you were thinking for the parts that you read. Then we come back to the thinking column, and this is the kind of the most important part of this lesson. Remember, you already filled it out for what your opinion was before you read the article. Now you want to think about this statement again. It is important to put electronics away and spend some time outdoors every day. Now that you've read the article and you've gathered some facts on that topic, go now to this part that explains whether or not you agree with this statement and why after you've read the article. And now jot down what your opinion is here on that topic now that you've read the article and you've gathered some facts. Maybe your opinion has changed, maybe it's just changed a little bit, or maybe it hasn't changed at all. But be honest and record what do you think now after you've read the information and gathered some facts. Okay, and then when you finish with your chart, be sure to submit it to your teacher. Did your opinion on good ways to spend your leisure time change after reading this article? Maybe it did, or maybe it didn't. The important thing to remember is to be open-minded to learning factual information through reading and allowing the facts you learn to help shape your opinions.